Yes,
So yeah, we
we are
are
live.
live. Welcome, welcome, Cassy Summers. Um,
Yeah.
so
So
yeah,
let me, before we start, let me introduce Cassy Summer. So Cassie is an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. Her greatest joy is to inspire, acknowledge, and empower others. She has spent the last 7 years of her life in pursuit of tools and techniques to empower others. When she discovered Access, it was an acknowledgement of her being and knowing, and she knew immediately that she would spend her life gifting this to others. These tools of access has allowed her to witness the miracle of someone coming into being more of them, acknowledging more of them, and celebrating the difference and brilliance of them. For her, finding you has become less about locating the lost identity and about discovering every day more of what you know, perceive, receive, and be. Discovering you can be an adventure, revealings of magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities. So, once again, welcome, Cassie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, let me start, like how access happened in your life and what was it that made you to be CF and what changes can you see before and after access?
I love that question. Yeah. So it's actually been more like 8 years now, I guess, since I wrote that. I was pregnant with my second baby, baby number 2. And I loved being pregnant. I loved being a mom, but I actually didn't love being me. I actually really hated myself and found myself waking up kind of every morning like, oh, I'm still here. Okay, yeah, that's all right. We can make this work. And it was like, that was my life, you know? I tried a lot of self-help stuff. Like I tried to change a lot of things and just kept finding things falling short. Nothing really massively changed my life. So I kind of just gave up, I guess. And I went through midwives. So do you guys have midwives in India?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So rather than, sorry, rather than going through like a general practitioner or a doctor, I chose to deliver with midwives. And a woman in my area just had offered through the midwifery clinic 3 free bar sessions.
Okay.
And I remember having that moment, and I'm sure a lot of us have had that moment of like, what is it going to take to change this? But you don't know that that's what you're asking. Yeah. So about 3 days before my midwives reached out to me, I'd asked, what is it going to take to change this? Like, what is it going to take to just like not hate myself anymore? And they offered me the 3 bar sessions. I had no idea what it was, to be honest. I'm like, what? You like bars? Like you're talking about bar sessions. But I was a curious person and I really like weird things. So I was like, okay, it sounds weird. Let's try it. So I had my 3 bar sessions, and not everyone has this like, oh my God, everything changed. But it was that for me. It was like, whoa, like what just happened? I had chronic body pain, like back pain that had just disappeared as if by magic. I had all these things show up for me, and I didn't know what it was like cognitively, but I knew I had to keep going and I had to go. So that was the beginnings, like 8 years ago.
Wow. Wow. Because I have always observed, something or the other, maybe like, access pulls it at the right time or what, but something I have talked to so many facilitators and so many people, they keep telling me they were going through some rough patch and then just access happened and their life took, a 360-degree turn. And I
Yes.
can say this out of my personal space and experience as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so, Cassie, moving forward, for gaslighting, so many of here people or people who might be watching on FB might not know what exactly is gaslighting all about. So, would you like to talk more on that?
Yeah, sure. So I didn't know it, but my relationship, and this is part of the me hating myself thing. My relationship of 11 years, married to him for 5 years, it was a gaslighting relationship. So he was using techniques to, like, you could call them mental techniques, but they're essentially psychological techniques that can put you into a space of being controlled and locked out of your being. And so I kind of started to get, again, you know how consciousness just hands you information. I started to be handed like little drips of this information, and just going, whoa, I saw that in my relationship, I saw that in my relationship. But it wasn't really until Gary brought gaslighting to the access consciousness conversation that I went, whoa, that's what was going on. And so for anyone wondering, like, so what is gaslighting? Gaslighting can be as simple as planting seeds of doubt in your own being, in your own awareness. And it can be this very complex thing, but it can be also this really subtle, this little subtle thing that shows up. And I want to just put
The voice is not coming to me.
Cassie, you have muted yourself.
oh, that's so weird.
Uh,
I don't
Yeah.
know how that happened. Okay. Well,
Let's go
clear
back.
that. What last did you hear?
Mm, you last were telling about your husband, and you thought that it is just like how it was like 5 years of like experience of gaslighting, and you were about to explain what gaslighting is.
Wow. I talked for a while. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so it wasn't until Gary brought gaslighting into the access conscious thing that I really got what it was. And so it can be as simple as planting a seed of doubt in what you're aware of, a seed of doubt in who you actually be. It can be really subtle things that are just culturally acceptable, actually, for a lot of people. Have you ever had even like a overbearing parent that just always makes you feel wrong? Like no matter what, you always just feel like after you talk to her, or maybe it's not a mom, it could be a friend, it could be a partner, and you have this sense of like somehow you have less of you and you don't even always know how that happened. But there are some actually strategies to gaslighting. And again, so some people, they're aware of it, they're using these techniques consciously. Other people, they don't even know that they're doing this. So I never desire people to walk in the world thinking, oh my God, gaslighting is coming out everywhere at me, I need to be in fear now, I can't trust anyone. Well, you can't. You can only trust you. Please trust you. And there are these actually 11 warning signs of gaslighting that Gary Douglas points us to. And if you read those, then you start to get a bigger conceptual idea of how these things show up. And when you have like them all working together, that's when you're like me and you're 11 years with someone and totally confused.
But so, Cassie, my next question is that the gaslighting is so subtle that you hardly, are able to notice that someone is gaslighting you. And the sub part of the question is then if you become aware that, okay, whosoever is trying to gaslight you, so what can you be and do at that situation?
Great question. One thing is to like, so first, I love even just allowing yourself to get aware of that is a big step for some people because they don't almost want to know what's going on. And Gary recommends us watching the movie Gaslight, the 1944 version, and that will get you to a place where you, even no matter how subtle it is, you know that vibration. You're like, that's gaslighting. So yeah, so how do you be with that? Because you don't necessarily want to be cutting everyone out of your life and getting into fights and now you have to go live in a cave. One thing is, when you can get to a place of not having a point of view about something, you're no longer at the effect of something, which can sound insane. How can you like not have a point of view about someone that's trying to psychically manipulate and control you? But it really, when you can get to that place, and that's what I worked on. I just worked on interesting point of view. So this is an access tool. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. They're gaslighting me. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about this. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about their point of view about gaslighting me. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. When you can run that, the charge will come off. And then you're going to be at a space of awareness. And you're like, okay, all right, this is just information. It's just information of how someone's functioning. Then that puts you in the space of like, oh, what would I like to choose here? Did that answer your question?
Yes, totally.
Yeah, cool. So you can choose to, oh, go ahead.
Sorry. You go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah.
So my question was, when you're gaslighted, even I was gaslighted when I was in my marriage. So gaslighting is so subtle that you don't even know that you are being gaslighted, That is like, because the person you are with, you are in extreme love in that, you are in extreme love with that person. And that person is only gaslighting you of your insanity. So, at that moment, what one can do is like to be aware.
Yeah, okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
So are you aware of the energy of gaslighting now?
Yes, totally I am.
Yeah. So do you have to worry about not being aware of it?
No. But okay, no, but it's not a great question. But when you start liking somebody and they are doing it unknowingly, sometimes still I think I have been gaslighted after even knowing that. Because I started liking that person, and that is, now again questioning my sanity.
Yeah, okay, awesome like question, and bringing that energy up, because that will happen, especially when you're shifting out of functioning that way. It's a vibration that you're used to, right? It's kind of normal. Yes. It's actually kind of comfortable. It's like, so yeah, it is. It's like, oh yeah, okay, great. This is a familiar energy. I'm being gaslit here. Okay. So when you're, and there's a difference between being aware or being like on hyper alert, adrenaline running. Is this person gaslighting me? Like while trying to create a intimate relationship with someone. So give yourself the space. So if you've left whether it's relationship like romantic, it could be business partnership, it could be a family relationship, give yourself some space to, for lack of a better word, heal. Have your bars run, get the add the PTSD process to your bars getting run, watch the Gaslight movie, get to the place of no point of view. Okay, give yourself that space. So then when you do enter, so now you're entering a new relationship, you're like, oh my God, I love them, all of the like electricity's going, and you're just like, I've lost my mind. You in that time still don't cut off your awareness. And when you have the awareness of, oh, that's similar to the energy of gaslighting, then ask the question, so is this person gaslighting me? Yes or no? Is this person aware that they're gaslighting me? Yes or no? Is there a conversation I can have with this person that would create a greater intimacy? Yes or no? And then you just follow those little breadcrumbs. But if you enter anything with the point of view of, oh my God, I might get sucked in again, then you've lost trust in you. Right? And then you're functioning on the point of view that you don't have your own back. And you're also functioning off the point of view that you made a wrong choice by choosing someone that gaslit you. Because what if that wasn't wrong either? Because what if every choice is just to gain more awareness? Did that kind of answer your question?
Totally, and with that, one more
Cool.
thing got answered you said sometimes we get that energy again, because I have been through that energy, so I get that energy again. So with
Yeah.
that, I was, separation energy, that I have been separated. So, that separation energy was again and again coming. I was like, I have been through this. Now I'm getting the feeling of it again. And somebody's again going to leave me and go away. So, you know, uh, so with
So
that
what if
energy, yeah,
what if you never left you again?
Wow.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that is the beautiful thing. Yes,
Thank you.
totally. Because
Then
I
then
totally
that is,
understand when last time I left myself, and that was the major loneliness I was having, and this time,
yeah.
yes, I'm not going to leave. I'm having my back, no matter what. No matter
Yes!
what. So this is a gift I have got from Access, and I keep reminding myself, universe have my back, I have my back. And I'll face everything, whatever comes my way.
Yeah. And that's part of the technique of gaslighting, is to get you to leave you. That's what they're doing. And so it's not that you were wrong. You're like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's exactly what occurred there. And if you make that commitment, I'm never leaving me again. No matter how like amazing this person seems, no matter how, drawn I am to the dazzle of this, I'm not going to leave me again. And then everything else just becomes an addition, or if it's not an addition, you move it out. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally, it
Cool.
makes sense, yeah.
Yay.
So my next question, Cassie, here is, in a relationship, like if I am being gaslighted and now after being in Axis, I know that he's gaslighting me and I have tools to play around it. But what if the second person is not aware that what gaslighting is and how he's trying to gaslight me? So what can I be and do here, to contribute to his life?
I love that question. Yeah. So I mean, first, yeah, look at everyone's different, right? You can look at, oh, is there actually a possibility of having a conversation with this person about it? Like sitting down, maybe going over like the 11 warning signs of gaslighting. Maybe we could put that link from Psychology Today in here, and being really vulnerable. Some people will actually hear that and they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even know I was doing this. This is something that I always saw my dad do with my mom. I thought this is how we're supposed to be with each other. That you might have that possibility there, and it might be really uncomfortable. But you could create that. And now you might have someone where you're like, you know what, they're nowhere near that. Like that's just not where they are. This is not a conversation I can have. You have to then become the master manipulator. You have to out-create your gaslighter, and you have to be willing to gaslight if required.
So that was my next question. So it's not okay to be gaslighted, but it's okay to gaslight someone.
Yeah. So it's not, and again, that's that point of view, right? It's if we're functioning from it's okay or not okay, it's just a way of saying right or wrong. So if it's not wrong that they're gaslighting you, and it's not right that they're gaslighting you, then it wouldn't be wrong if you gaslit, and it wouldn't be right if you gaslit. It's just a choice. What would I like to create? So if I, for example, was going to gaslight someone for consciousness, I would choose it. I would choose it based on, this is going to create something greater for myself and for the world, So it's always from choice. And so I had to get to a place with my ex to actually not be in judgment of him for gaslighting me for 11 years. And like really using the techniques, like he researched how to do it and then did it. Like the movie Gaslight, it's like someone's so psychotic. They're like, no, there's not actually people in the world that do that. There are people in the world that do that. I experienced it for 11 years. I'm in a place where he's not actually wrong for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can get to that, so and look at what are you using gaslighting for? So if you're using gaslighting to lock someone out of their being, if you're using gaslighting to destroy someone's very being, then you might want to look at that and see where, you know, is this really the person I want to be in the world? Is this really working for me? And but if you're with a gaslighter and you see this moment, and you know those moments because it's happened to you. So you've had this moment where you open up and they go, you drop that little seed of doubt. They drop that little like dagger into your being, and you're like, oh, what just happened? Okay. So you've experienced that opening, so you know it. So if you're now gaslighting for consciousness, you see your gaslighter open that, you see that opening, and you drop in your seed of consciousness. And that seed of consciousness will create a question in their solid point of view rather than a doubt in their being.
That's so beautifully explained. Thank you, Cassie.
Go.
So, you know, my question is, it's not only the partners, you know, we also gaslight our children sometimes,
Absolutely. Yep.
you know. So, you know, at that moment, what can be done, you know, because I have seen somebody, you know, my family, and I see that they are gaslighting their children. So that moment I feel, oh, what can I do and be for that child so that he's not being gaslighted? Because I know it's a choice. I know it's his creation, the child's creation as well, but else than that, what can?
Yeah. It's a great question. So what if you change it just a little bit? So rather than going, what can I do so he's not being gaslit? Because we want to like change it, right? We want to like take the abuse away. I have 50-50 custody. So my kids are still going to their dad's house, you know? And I wanted to protect them and I wanted to stop it. And like, what can I do to stop this thing? But again, I'm functioning from this is wrong, this is bad, this is wrong, this is bad. I need to stop it. I need to protect them. Okay, cool. They're infinite beings and they do have choice. And that doesn't mean that I just check out from it. So what I do is, how much can I empower these children so that they become aware of this energy and then they have choice? So it might be a conversation about gaslighting. It might not be a conversation of gaslighting. You really have to like look at that for you. But you can be a space of awareness. You can be the energy. So if you, especially if you witness it, you can energetically talk to them in your head. Be like, do you notice what's going on here? You can be present with that energy. Okay. My children have actually texted me and be like, Dad's gaslighting me right now. They're equipped. They're fully aware of what's going on. And I've got them to a place of where they're not in a point of view about it. They're not at the effect of it. They're the aware person going, oh, look at Dad. How cute is that? He's trying to gaslight me right now. But I'm so aware, I can now use this to my advantage.
That's amazing.
Right? And that's different than when we're like, I want to stop this from happening. But if we can empower the kids to go into the world, because they're going to see it all over the place. They're going to get it from their teachers. They're going to see it in social media. Their friends are going to gaslight them. So rather than trying to create a place where we can help them get away from it, if we can empower them to be with it, and then they get to be the change. And that's how I see it. I'm like, rather than avoiding all the gaslighting in the world, I've kind of taken it upon myself to be like, is there gaslighting here? Whoa, what can I be to melt that? What can I be to empower people to see something different here? Oh, show me the gaslighters. Hello. Hi, how's it going? Imagine a force of kids in the world being that empowered. Like what will the world be like?
Totally a conscious and aware place. And
yeah.
So want that things to happen, because yes, children should be knowing. I know in India we live in a joint family, so you know, there is a mother-in-law or a grandparents also gaslight them. So
Yep.
obviously rather than protecting them, we have to like make them aware of this energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
not directly talking, but how indirectly we can actually teach that.
Yeah. So you might have kids that you can talk directly about it, and then do that. Give them the information and give it to them in a way without a point of view. Okay. So rather than being like, okay, this is the evil plan that this person has, and do you see all the evil things that they're doing? It's kind of like you show them the from the observer. So one like something, and then you, or you can have the indirect thing. So the indirect thing can be talking about it from the side rather than directly to what's going on. So look for moments. Okay. So I actually love, I'll watch like cartoons with my kids or shows with my kids, right? And something will happen and I'm like, pause. And I'm like, hey guys, did you just see what happened? And they'll be like, what? I'm like, well, this kid was like, so like, he was dreaming big. He was so excited. He was going to do big things. But did you notice that after this conversation with this person, like something changed? And they're like, yeah, he kind of like gave up on himself. Like, isn't that interesting? Like, what do you think created that? So I'm getting them to access their knowing by asking them questions. And they're like, well, I think it's because this person, they said this thing that made them doubt themselves. I'm like, oh yeah. So what would it be like if he didn't buy that and he didn't doubt himself? So you can have those indirect conversations with kids like that, especially if it's off to the side, but they will start to permeate it through their lives. Because once they become aware, so you're just basically tapping on, anytime you can see that energy come up, you tap on it with them and you go, hey, do you see this? And they're like, oh, kind of. Yeah, look at this energy. What is this energy? And you ask them questions about this energy, and then they'll start to really get a sense of this energy. And then you ask them more questions about how do you outcreate it, or how would it affect this person if they didn't outcreate it? So they could see what would their lives be like if they chose it, allowed it. What would their lives be like if they didn't? They're starting to have massive awareness. So anytime you can, just tap on that little energy, and then just be space with it, and allow it to take as long as it needs to take. You know, every child is going to be different, but they'll just start to see it, and they'll come to you like, do you know what happened in class today? I'm like, whoa, what did you choose? And always acknowledging, what did you choose? Not, oh my God, poor baby, you are affected by that. We want to do that because we love them, but then they have to align and agree, oh my God, I am a poor babe. Oh my God, I'm at the effect of this. No, you go, whoa, what did you choose? Well, I chose to align and agree. Okay. Do you want to get out of that? Would you like to change that? Or, you know what? I chose to outcreate it and it totally didn't affect me. And then we're high-fiving. We're just like, awesome. Look at you go.
So nicely said, you know, because we have the habit of saying this, oh, poor baby, you know, and then that is the energy which they start operating from. Oh, this is something bad happened to us, and now we have to function around it. You know, instead of asking, what did you choose? You know, we as a parent just forget this tiny things, you know, which is very important, which are really important.
Right. Yeah. Because it acknowledges that they even have choice.
Yes.
You know, like when I first realized, oh my God, I've been gaslit, I was like, I was tricked, I was manipulated. Like, he had researched me for 2 years before we ever had our first date. Like, he took 2 years of time researching me on how to manipulate me. So I was like, oh my God, poor me. That's not empowering. So that's what I mean. Give yourself a little time to heal. Like, I had moments of like, oh, so pathetic. And then getting to that place of like, whoa, you know what? What an interesting choice I made. How many times did I cut off my awareness to allow this to happen? Oh, wow. What awarenesses do I have now that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't chosen that? Oh, what am I going to use that awareness for? What else is possible now?
So true, you know. You know, even when I was gaslighted, it was my creation. It took me 2 years to like totally get it that it was my creation, and now I can do something with it. Because like you said, he researched with me, so I have given him in the platter everything to gaslight me, you know. So so he didn't have to research also, but yeah, it was my creation some or the other way. And now I was like, okay, what awareness.
Yeah.
A great life I got after that. So I'm really now over it. Yeah.
So Cassie, my next question here is, often people come to me who are being gaslighted. now the relationship has been drifted so much apart that they are not willing to bridge, but they do not want to leave also.
Ah,
So
okay.
what
So
can,
Indian.
what can they be and do here, to equate or to balance the relationship?
Yeah, well, then I would get them to look at the question of, so what's the value of staying? What am I here for? And get them to get really clear on it. Because if they're saying there's something valuable to them for whatever reason, maybe it's just like, you know what, I like having someone to help with the kids, or I like having someone help. What's valuable to me. So it's more valuable to me to have this help with the finances than it is to leave. That's not wrong. It's just, that's what's true for them, right? So then they go, okay, cool. So then that means I'm going to choose to be here. Do you notice that energy of empowerment?
Yeah.
Because it is a choice. They want to feel like I'm stuck here because finances. But if you can get them to look at, you're choosing to be there because from your point of view or your awareness, this is going to be easier for you financially. Now they're empowered. Okay, cool. Now they can go, now you get them to the place of your job now is to become the master manipulator. If you don't want to bridge that, if you don't want to create intimacy with this person, you outcreate them, outcreate them, outcreate them, outcreate them. Every turn, just outcreate them. And then you can still have a beautiful life. And you don't have to be at the effect of the gaslighting because you've run that interesting point of view process, hopefully. And now you're like, okay, it's not wrong. It's not wrong that he's gaslighting me or she's gaslighting me. Women do it too. It's not just a man thing. It's not wrong that my partner's gaslighting me. It's their choice. And it's my choice to be at the effect of it or to affect it. Yeah. So that means sometimes you play the role of, oh, okay, yeah. You know what's supposed to happen. When those shades come off, you know exactly how you're supposed to respond. You've been trained. Right now, I'm supposed to be submissive. Okay, so I'm going to play submissive when it creates more of what I want. Right now, I'm supposed to be submissive, but I actually get if I increase my potency right now, that's going to create something better and it's going to mess with them. Okay, I'm going to be a dragon for a minute. That do you see how you start to become the person? And I would recommend asking these questions and being present moment by moment. Something that I've noticed with the people that have been gaslit over a period of time is that they are always trying to calculate the next move of their gaslighter to diminish the amount of abuse that they're going to experience. But that actually puts you into their maze. You want to come out and be the observer and be present with what is right now, not trying to calculate their next move. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you can be aware of the future, but again, from this really expanded out observer place. Okay, what's present right now? What energy is required right now to outcreate this? And this now and in the future. That's what I would recommend to clients that come to me with that.
Yeah, because that was question which was also coming up from my personal space. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can still have joy in it, and you can still receive from
Yeah.
someone, even if they're functioning from gaslighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now can we talk a little more on since we are talking on gaslighting and we are talking on relationships. So sometimes it's also difficult for me to have that 5 elements of intimacy in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you talk a little more on that?
Yeah. So 5 elements of intimacy. And really, first, you want to have it with you, right? So we said that whole, like, what if you never left you again? That you broke one of your elements of intimacy every time you left you, right? And not significant, but it's to acknowledge of, okay, cool, I wasn't actually being honoring of me. And I wasn't grateful for me. Could you imagine in a moment of like you're experiencing gaslighting and you had so much intimacy with yourself, you're so grateful for yourself for being there.
Yeah.
You were so honoring of yourself and having your own back. You were so vulnerable with yourself. Could you imagine being that? Could gaslighting even really affect you? And the trust piece too. So you're having the trust, the gratitude, the honoring. Am I missing one? Trust, gratitude, honoring, vulnerability.
And
Is
allowance.
that it?
Allowance.
An allowance. Thank you. I knew there was one. The interesting point of view tool. Perfect. So you have these 5 elements and you start with you. So if you start to cultivate this with yourself, and you can ask every day, okay, did I have honoring for myself, gratitude for myself, trust for myself, vulnerability for myself, and allowance for myself? Then from there, now you can start to have that with your partner. And if you cannot put time or expectation or projection to the equation, anything is possible. If you start to expect, I just started applying these elements and everything should be different within a week. Like, it might not be that way. It might be a bit of actually like an up and down, like a little roller coaster of what's showing up, because intimacy is not something that is very common here on planet Earth. So it will bring up, even just being intimate with yourself will bring up your stuff. And then when you can be intimate with someone else, that's also going to bring up everyone's stuff. So have it here first, always. And then, yeah, so how do I start to, and you can, there's actually a great book that Gary and Dane wrote that has a lot of this in it. Love isn't a 4-letter word. Is that I think that's the one.
Sex is not a full.
Yes, sex is not a 4-letter. Yeah, that one. Thank you. But you can start. So you could ask, even just ask in the morning. So what would it take to have what would it take to have greater intimacy with my partner today? And just follow. But get yourself acquainted with those energies. So what is it like to be grateful for someone, even if they have gaslit you? What is it like to be honoring of someone?
Nem amerikai.
What is it like
Gaslighting.
to what is it like to have vulnerability? And vulnerability is a big one because we think that means we're open to attack. Like that means it's going to hurt more. It actually is the space where you have the awareness to not get stuck with the gaslighting. It's just there. You're just aware of it. So yeah, so start with you, look at those elements of intimacy, get acquainted with the energies, and then just start to ask and everyone will be different. How you cultivate an intimacy with a partner would be different than you did with your mom, than you did with your child, that you did with your boss. And you just start to ask, what would it take to have more intimacy with this person? And follow those whispers.
Okay.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So, what about when you are being gaslighted about the money thing, that you cannot make money, that I have been through that also, and I have been gaslighted for my ability to earn, or basically to have money in my life.
Yeah. So, okay. Anywhere it's relevant that someone's gaslighting you, can we all destroy and create that? I don't know if we're doing clearing statements, but so what I mean by that is, yeah, people don't want you to make money because then they don't have control over you,
Yes.
right? But then it's a choice. You got to go to the place again where it's a choice. It's a choice for me to make money anyways. And it's a choice for me to not make money. Now you might have like implants. You might have stuff deep in from this, like layers. And that's what's so beautiful about the Access Consciousness clearing statement and the tools that they have, is that you can clear out these places where from gaslighting, you are stopping you now. The most brilliant thing about gaslighting is that they will orchestrate it, that you are the biggest destroyer of your own life.
Yes.
After they've done the work, you just do it for them. They barely have to do anything. You're like, you're better at gaslighting than they are. Like they just started you and then you're like, oh, I can do this way better. Hold on. Let me destroy myself. I'm so good at this. So with that, yeah, like also same thing. I was gaslit to not generate and create and actualize money. And even years later, like I have, oh my gosh, have I changed my financial reality? And then I'll find this little thing and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, this is another implant. It was so insidious. And then I have the tool to clear it. So it's so cool to be able to go, okay, cool. So someone might be right now actively gaslighting you not to make money. It's just information. You're not at the effect of it unless you decide you're at the effect of it. Really, truly. You are not at the effect of gaslighting unless you've aligned and agreed that you're at the effect of it. It's just information. Oh, this person doesn't want me to have money because they want the power over me. What would I like to choose? Okay, do I let them feel like they have power over me? Do I make money secretly on the side? Do I tell them, okay, that's an interesting point of view. I'm going to create money anyways. Right? You have all these choices.
Yes,
You have all these choices.
that's totally. So you got that energy so rightly that it's been done way before, but I'm still gaslighting myself with that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you let yourself out of jail now, like all of you. Like let yourself out of the gaslighting jail. What if you being free actually isn't as bad as you were told it was? Yep. And will it make people uncomfortable? It will. It absolutely, absolutely will. And that's okay. It's actually a gift to make people uncomfortable. It's a massive gift.
It is totally.
So we have a question here, Cassie, that are there any different names for gaslighting, for like controlling, dominating, or what others says can someone be gaslighted? What are the other ways can someone be gaslighted? Like she has mentioned controlling, dominating.
Yeah. Controlling, dominating. They can also use kind of called triangulation. So they'll use people in your life to come at you. So they'll kind of like go out and they'll poison the well against you to someone else that's kind of close to you. So they'll like gaslight over here on the side. And then maybe they'll use a few people and then they'll create a scenario to get you to react. So they actually create a lot of reactions. They train you how to react like a dog, right? Like like on command, I'm going to hold the treat and I want you to sit because I said sit. So you have reactions in you that you don't necessarily even know were implanted. It's that time where you suddenly went crazy and you were just yelling. When you're done yelling, you're like, why did I even do that? Well, that was a reaction that they actually wanted you to have. And they're going to tell you how bad you are for having that reaction. But you actually were a good little gaslighty. You did your job good because you did exactly what you were trained to do. They will create scenarios so that you do your reaction, which solidifies the triangulation going on. So if you see the movie Gaslight, for example, there's a scene where the husband he's been slowly working on the two maids, okay? So one can't hear well, the kind woman, she can't hear very well, so he's using that to his advantage. The other woman wants to be with him, so he's constantly using that to his advantage. And then he's slowly making the wife think that she's crazy. He creates a scenario where he makes the wife call up the house servants or whatever you would call them. What are they? Maids? I don't know. And then he creates a scenario where she looks insane in front of them. So and then she feels more insane because now there are 3 people that have aligned and agreed with how insane she is. And then she feels insane because she doesn't know why she reacted the way she did. Because it didn't actually really feel like her, but she did it anyways. So she must be insane. Yeah. So there's multiple, like getting into the complexity of gaslighting may or may not be to your benefit. Some people can go down a hole and they can just start to, they're almost like going in and mimicking gaslighting to try and figure it out or understand it. Don't recommend that. Just, you can just get yourself acquainted with the energy of gaslighting for the purpose of being aware of it. So watch the movie Gaslight, you know, even here, like through this whole thing, as we've been talking, we've been bringing up this energy because we all know it. And we go, oh, that's the energy. You just tap on it and tap on it and tap on it. So to look at where other ways gaslighting can show up, there's a million ways. It's so complex. And knowing all the ways doesn't protect you, because it's not actually, it doesn't have to be a cognitive thing. And if you're trying to turn it into a cognitive thing, then that's you going into the mouse maze, right? Have it be an energetic thing. Because from then you get to be the energy space consciousness that you are, the choice that you are from here. And you go, oh, I know that energy. So you can see all the ways it shows up rather than researching all the ways it can happen. So but be open to it can show up in the weirdest ways. You could just get this like, what was that? And you're like, that's gaslighting. And you might go, I don't even know how that could be gaslighting. It doesn't make sense because I haven't researched this. That's okay. Just acknowledge that you know what you know. Okay, that's gaslighting. So what would I like to choose with this information? I hope that contributes. I'm feel free to research it if you want to. I think for some people, maybe they have to get the clarity. I don't want to go too much into it because I know that people make it a cognitive process, and that can limit you too, because now you're trying to define all over the place what gaslighting is rather than having that awareness of the energy of it.
So after talking to you so much on gaslighting, I'm just getting the energies and I'm getting those things that how I have been gaslighted by my own parents on so many things. And till today, I am in the process of, sabotaging myself, not having that belief, not having that confidence that yes, I can do it, which I
Yeah,
should have done it years back.
yeah. Yeah, and what a beautiful awareness to have, because now what's possible.
Yes, now what's possible? True.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding so beautiful space for us, Cassie.
Yes,
Thank you for
it's
inviting
true.
me on here. Yeah, to this conversation.
It's, because I even think that this information is to be known by everyone. As I said, it's so subtle that people don't understand they are being gaslighted.
Yeah.
So this is really important for them to know that the energy is not right here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
empower
okay,
them to choose something different. Go ahead.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now when you said that something is being implanted, so what we can do to remove this from that, running the bars, I know that
Yeah.
we can do by the running bars. So along with that, we should also run the gaslight process.
Yep.
Or
yeah, you can run the which process should we run? Yeah, exactly. So in the foundation manual, there's a process. I don't know, because we're Facebook Live, I don't know if we should be doing that on a Facebook Live, but if you've taken the foundation class, there's a section on gaslighting. There's a process Gary gives us. Run that process. And also really use that interesting point of view process. So if you haven't taken the foundation yet, maybe you should, because it really can contribute to this. But if you can get to the space of, oh, hi, Ranjana. Hi, beautiful. If you can get to the space of no point of view about it, that's where you're going to get out of the effect of it. It's not going to be understanding it. It's not going to be, that's not the freedom piece. Although acknowledging what is can create freedom. So for me, I actually went back and I was like, oh, that was gaslighting. Oh, so it was opening up my awareness to every time I acknowledged this place where I felt insane. Like I actually felt crazy. I must be crazy here, and acknowledging, okay, so that was gaslighting. And in that piece of acknowledgement, you are also undoing implants. Like you are letting it go, because the implant is, you're crazy. Then they're watering that implant and it's growing roots in your world, you know, and other things are like supporting it. Oh yeah, that links to that, and that links to that, and that links to that. We're like these masterminds of awareness and complexity, right? And we're creating this network in our own world. And so if you can acknowledge every time gaslighting shows up, your part of that is you're undoing the implants, getting the bars run. And then you can just say anything, like a general thing would be anything I was implanted or explanted from this person or from gaslighting, and you can clear that.
Yeah, I know this already, but yeah, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, you get it when you get it, as Gary says.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's really, and thank you just for asking the question for other people as well, to go, oh, like I could do that too, right? You can all clear. It's not like, you're not like, I want to say this again, just so much, because I know what it is to be a victim. I know what it is to go into victim. I know what it is to create myself as a victim. And that doesn't change your life. To empower yourself to go, okay, this was done to me. This was something someone else chose, and I created an awareness that allowed it to happen. And you're empowered to clear any of this out of your world. All of this can be melted, dissipated, released. Body processes are a great thing. If you can get the abuse hold done, that is super dynamic in releasing, where you lock this in your body, because we lock abuse in our body, we lock gaslighting in our body. Yeah, use all the access tools available, because they will clear out all of this stuff.
Thank you, Casey. So yeah,
Yeah.
Shruti.
Yeah, I was about to ask Cassie that, and I always ask the same question from different facilitators. Though I know what Gary said, that for running bars or running body processes, it's 100 times, 1,000 times better if you are getting touched by the body or you are touching someone. But somewhere, if I talk from my own space, I might not get many people around me to run bars or to run the body processes. So how effective it is if I run my own bars, you know, or doing some body processes, like very simple as biomimetic and like MTVSS and other small processes.
Yeah, everything that you just said, it's 1,000 times greater to have someone do it on you. And you can get creative. Like when my kids were really little, they were like 3 years old, I'm like, just put your hands on my head and we'll watch a cartoon. Like, just do this and I know what's going on. They don't need to know what's going on. Just touch me here. You're gonna explode. Just hold behind my ears right now, and you can go in your head, implant band, implant band, implant band, right? So you can get creative. I know people with partners that have actually just said, can you just hold me here? Can you just put your hands here? And then they'll call it the body process in their head. This is just get creative. Okay. Now, yeah. And now let's say even beyond that, you can run your own bars. I run body process on myself every single day. Every single day I run body process. I usually fall asleep running something. Biomimetic mimicry is brilliant with this particular thing we're talking about too. And if you want to contribute to that, if you have a class where that process was being run, for example, I had like a sinus infection, and I was like, oh, body, what would you like? And it was facelift. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really have anyone that can run facelift on me, but I'm a facelift facilitator. So I have the video with Shannon and Gary and Dane. So I played it on repeat while I held my own face, and it exponentialized the process. So if you have, like, Brennan's done bars classes, you know, like that you can buy, or maybe you have recordings from a bars class that you took, play it. You could play it at night, you know, you could fall asleep, turn it on low, do this and fall asleep like that. And it just contributes. So that's a nice way to kind of add to if you are in a place where you just don't have anyone to touch you.
So as in you're saying we have done the body class, so we can just play the body class recordings and go to sleep with that, putting our
Yep.
hands
Yep.
somewhere in the body which body requires us to touch.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And your
So
body
that's
knows
true.
that energy now. It can activate it. So yeah.
So, Cassie, I know that we are close to the time. And
Yeah.
so one last time, I would like to ask the audience that if anyone has any question, for anything, it's not like it has to be for gaslighting.
So Kathy, meanwhile somebody is asking. My question was, along with that bars, we can run the gaslight process. So bars helps in releasing all the stuff because right now I cannot get the abuse hold, but yeah, I can get my bars run. So
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have someone that you feel really able to be vulnerable with, you could talk about, while you're getting a bars run, you could talk about some of the gaslighting. Or you can watch the Gaslight movie, which is something I sometimes do watch parties every like 6 months to a year. And we'll get on and we'll be on Zoom like this. And then we'll press play and we'll watch the Gaslight movie together. And like people run bars. Yeah. I'll kind of do some symphony of possibilities energy work on the participants to just to help move through it, and move through the things that are there that sometimes we don't even know that they're there. We don't know it's, oh, why do I keep functioning this way? It might actually have to do with some gaslighting that you experienced. And so that can just move out even without the cognitive awareness of it. And you're like, I just feel better. I don't know why. And then you stop doing that one thing that kept destroying your life and you don't, because it just disappeared. Yeah. So, and you can make audio loops. So like the gaslighting process, for example, you make an audio loop on your phone and you can just have it running for as long as you like. You can sleep with it on and it'll do its energetic work for you and just let it go.
So there is a question.
And anywhere,
Yeah, please.
can I just say this super quick? So anywhere any of us want to hold on to the energies of gaslighting as though that's going to change gaslighting, what if that wasn't going to change gaslighting or punish someone or make someone aware that they've been gaslighting? What if actually letting it go is the greatest gift that we can all be? Imagine a world, imagine a whole planet where gaslighting was able to truly dissipate and release. Okay, question. What was the question?
Yes.
So, there is a question in the chat that after running any of the processes, what you are mentioning, is it important to do the restructuring?
No, she's asking like on ourselves when we do body process
on
on
ourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So we have to do that time also restructuring.
Yeah, I mean, I would. That's how the bars are, right? And that's how MTBS has like certain body processes. So just follow kind of what's been recommended by Gary. And important is an interesting thing because we're going to the significance. And if I don't do that, and if I actually if I mess it up, then it's not going to work. It's not like that. But ask your body. So should I? And restructuring is actually, it's just so easy. So why not add it, right? Just hold here, hold here, hold here. Done. Got my power band, got all my things. Just run restructuring. And your body knows, like Gary talks about, even after getting a chiropractic session, you can just ask your body to run restructuring. So it's not a big deal. I always do it if I run bars on myself, because that's the bars process.
Okay, so also that moment when we are doing at night, so at night we activate 3 bars, and so in the morning also we have to do that restructuring.
I would say your body knows, and that it doesn't have to have that much form or structure, like,
okay.
Yeah, your body knows it's going to be fine.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you get like, whoa, I would like to run restructuring, then run it. So again, you might get that ping of like, oh my God, I fell asleep. I was running the bars process. I obviously didn't wake up at 2 a.m. to run restructuring. okay, that's all right. You might like, oh, would I like to run restructuring? My body gets yes, then just ask restructuring to run. It'll take a few minutes. Carry on in your day. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
that's
thank you
really
so much, ladies.
Thank you.
This was amazing. I'm grateful for all of you. This was a cool conversation, and I know a lot of people gaslighting is like, they want to avoid it. So it's been
See,
go ahead.
I was about to say, the very first time when I saw the movie, I was like, no, I don't want to see. Okay, then I first time saw it anyhow. I was like, I made myself to watch it. Then again, then somebody says, watch again and again and run the process. I'm like, no, I'll run the process, but I don't want to watch that movie because that charge was coming up so much for me that I was like, no, I just want to run away from that. But now you said that it brings up the awareness and it starts clearing. So it's definitely
So you want to clear that charge, because I can watch that movie now from like total interesting point of view. And when you can from there, then if there's no charge, there's no effect on you. If there's no charge, you're in total awareness of it. And that's a cool place to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Cassie, for being here with us and
thank you.
Releasing, at least from my space, releasing so much which I was holding for so many years. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, really, Cassie.
Thank you, everyone.
It's what's been implanted, and now I'm like listening to this call only. I'm like feeling free and happy again. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
And
Bye.
morning to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. What else is possible?